Okay, to do the shirt, we're going to be using 4 pieces. You're going to use the back, the sleeve, the 2 collar pieces, and the front. First thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your back piece and you're going to serge right along the back edge. Set that aside. Then you're going to take the front, and what we're going to do is we're going to put in a dart. You're going to line up your pattern piece, and you're going to take tracing paper that has ink on it to mark on the back. Put this to the wrong side of your fabric, and you're going to use a tracing wheel, and you're going to mark right on your V, all the way down on all 3 lines. And when you get done, it's real faint, but there's the blue lines that are going to show where we're going to mark it. To do the dart, you're going to take this and you're going to fold on the center crease or the center line, and you're going to put a pin at the bottom of that point. We're going to stitch right along from the top down to the point. And when you get done, it should look like this. And from the outside, it'll have the dart. Then you're going to take your collar pieces. And on one piece of the collar, the side that has the notched edge, you're going to fold it down 5/8 of an inch. We're going to stitch the 3 sides that don't have the fold at 5/8 of an inch. Once it's stitched, it should look like this. We're going to clip the corners. And we're going to turn the collar right side out. And you might want to take this over and press this at the iron so that it lays nice and smooth. And then we're going to take the sleeve. And for the sleeve, you're going to put in what's called an E-stitch. The E-stitch is going to go from this notch over to this notch. You're going to set your machine up that it goes to the 4.5 and no back stitching. You're going to go the width of the foot from the edge of the fabric, and we're going to stitch all the way around the curve. And leave extra thread just so that we can get that curve to fit. Then you're going to take the sleeve and you're going to put this right sides together, and we're going to stitch a 5/8 inch seam. So I have to put this back on regular stitching and 5/8. Okay, at this point, we're going to take the back and the front. We're going to put these together at the shoulder and at the side seam. And we're going to stitch a 5/8 inch seam across the shoulder and down the side seam. Remember, your patterns won't line up because they're 2 different pieces. We're going to stitch a 5/8 inch seam. And a 5/8 inch seam down the sides. So your shirt should look something like this. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the collar. So the part that has the notch and where the dart is the front. The same applies with the collar. This is the front. We're going to line up the front edge of the collar to the front edge of the shirt. And we're going to pin this in place. We're going to keep our edges even, and your notches might not match. That's okay. And keep bringing it around so that your edges are even. We're going to open up the seam. So we'll be changing directions with this. Bring this across. And when you get to the back, where the back edge of your shirt is, we're going to fold this so that it matches up with our collar. So both edges should be even. We're going to stitch the collar on, and you want to be careful not to catch this piece, but you want to start it right at the base of where the fold is. And we're going to stitch 5/8 inch across to where the fold is here. When you get to this point, your pattern is going to tell you to clip the neck edge. So we're going to take our scissors and we're going to just clip it right in at the neck. You're going to then take your collar and you're going to bring this over to hide your seam, and you're going to stitch right along this piece here. I'd probably suggest you put some pins in. Make sure that's all in there. And we'll stitch across. And once you're done, your collar just folds over. So it looks like so. There's your little collar. We're going to do the sleeve next. What you're going to do with the sleeve is you're going to turn it right side out. We're going to turn the shirt wrong side out. And we're going to put the sleeve on our hand, and we're going to grab the top of the underarm. The shirt goes on the left hand. The top of the underarm is down here. This is going to go into the shirt. And we're going to match the top of the underarm of the shirt and the sleeve, which is going to be right here. You're going to open up your seam, and you always want to pin on the sleeve side, not the shirt side. So I'm going to put a pin here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our sleeve and we're going to go directly across halfway. The halfway point is going to line up at the shoulder. Again, we're going to open up our seam and pin again on the sleeve side, not the shirt. We're going to go to the underside of the shirt and sleeve. And this section here, up until you get to where the gather mark is going to be flat. We wouldn't want any puckers under our armpits. So this is going to go here. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. From here to where our stitching is, we're going to keep flat. Now, these two pieces look like they don't fit because you have opposite curves going on. So we're going to take this and we're going to pull our E-stitch just a little bit to get that so that curve is going to fit in. We don't want to do it like a gather. We don't want any puckers. Just want to make it so that the curve is going to fit. And we're going to pin this in place. Again, on the sleeve side. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Just pull this just a little bit to get it to fit. And pin that in place. Okay, we're going to go ahead and sew this, and when we put it into our machine, we want to put it so that the pins and the sleeve are on the top. And we're going to position this and do a 5/8 inch seam. We want to turn that so that we don't get any puckers in. And then once you're all done, you take out your pins. And your sleeve should look like this then once it's all done. Oops, let's pin up there. There's your sleeve. And that's it.